The Kyiv regime launched a terrorist attack employing 91 long-range strike unmanned aerial vehicles against the state residence of the President of the Russian Federation located in the Novgorod region. The targets designated for retaliatory strikes and the precise timing of their delivery by the Russian armed forces have been definitively established. We do not intend to withdraw from the negotiation process with the United States. However, given the ultimate degradation of the criminal Kyiv regime, which has embraced state terrorism, Russia's negotiating stance will be reconsidered.
All call for restraint. All warn against escalation. China says dialogue and negotiation are the only viable path out of the Ukraine war. Beijing urges no expansion of the battlefield, no escalation, and no fanning of the flames. India follows with a rare and pointed response. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he is deeply concerned by reports of the targeting of President Vladimir Putin's residence, stressing that diplomacy remains the only way forward. India urges all sides to stay focused on peace talks and avoid actions that could undermine them. The United Arab Emirates goes further, strongly condemning what it calls an attempted attack on the Russian president's residence, expressing solidarity with Russia and rejecting all forms of violence. Nicaragua echoes that stance, calling the incident a terrorist attack and accusing Ukraine of trying to sabotage peace negotiations. 4 nations, one message: step back before it spins out of control. Now, the claim at the center of the storm: Russia says Ukraine launched 91 long-range drones toward President Vladimir Putin's country residence in the Novgorod region, north of Moscow, during the night of December 28, 29th. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov calls it a terrorist attack, claiming every drone was intercepted by air defenses. No casualties, no damage. But Lavrov warns Russia will respond, and that response, Moscow says, will not be diplomatic. The timing could not be more sensitive. Russia says the incident unfolded amid intense peace negotiations, talks involving the United States and directly overseen by U.S. President Donald Trump. And according to Russian officials, Putin personally informed Trump about the alleged drone attack, with Trump said to be shocked by what he heard.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. That's no good. It's no good. Don't forget, you know, the tomahawks. I stopped the tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that. And can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it.
Do you believe about it?
What?
Don't you have U.S. intelligence services that monitor that region very closely? Is there any evidence?
Well, it came out. Well, we'll find out. I mean, you're saying maybe the attack didn't take place. It's possible too, I guess. But President Putin told me this morning it did.
But Ukraine flatly denies everything. President Volodymyr Zelensky calls the claim a complete fabrication. He accuses Moscow of spreading false narratives to undermine diplomacy, noting the accusations surfaced just one day after his meeting with Trump on peace proposals. Zelensky warns Russia is using fear and misinformation to prolong the war.
This is just another typical lie from the Russian Federation. It's clear that yesterday we had a meeting with Trump, and it's also clear that for the Russians, if we don't have a scandal with America, but instead manage to make some progress, for them, that's a complete failure, because they absolutely do not want to end this war, and they are only capable of ending it if we apply significant pressure on them. And they were searching, I'm quite certain of it, searching for reasons. To be perfectly honest, yesterday I still expected some kind of rhetoric. Well, you can see they are just moving on. Now, with their claim that some residence of theirs was attacked, they are simply preparing, I'm sure, basically preparing the ground to launch strikes, likely on the capital and likely on government buildings. This already happened in September. There was a missile strike on the cabinet, in the cabinet of ministers of Ukraine. You remember this, don't you? Therefore, everyone must be paying close attention now, every single person, without exception. It is possible that a strike could be launched against the capital, especially since this individual, if we can even call them a person, yes, stated that they would be selecting appropriate targets, meaning they are issuing threats. I think that here today, in principle, President Trump, his team, and the Europeans, I believe, really need to step up and engage with those individuals who just yesterday were expressing a strong desire to bring an end to this war.
So now the world stands at another crossroads. Russia warns of retaliation, Ukraine denies responsibility, China urges talks, India pleads for diplomacy, the UAE condemns violence, Nicaragua calls it terrorism. And as peace talks inch forward, one allegation threatens to pull everything back into the shadows of escalation. The question now, will diplomacy hold, or will this moment ignite something far more dangerous?
It has been clearly and unequivocally stated by our side that such reckless and utterly irresponsible acts of terrorism will naturally not remain without the most serious and decisive response. The President of the United States was profoundly shocked by this particular message, and in a very literal sense, he was absolutely outraged in light of a whole series of agreements that had been successfully reached during the preceding stage, and considering the various solutions that had begun to emerge, Russia's official position will now be thoroughly reevaluated and subsequently revised. It was stated very clearly, and the Americans ought to approach this with a full understanding. Considering the state terrorism being carried out by Kyiv, the Russian side simply cannot act in any other way.
I would like to point out that this is already becoming a common practice as soon as
the negotiation process is entering such a delicate phase of finding solutions. The Ukrainian government, acting on the premise of preventing conditions for a peaceful settlement from forming, is taking provocative steps. Moreover, these steps take very sharp forms, and they are clearly intended to disrupt the negotiation process, and as a rule, they act together with their Western curators. First and foremost, one can clearly discern the distinctive style of the British here, and of course what has transpired today represents a very serious and deliberate attempt to further undermine the ongoing negotiation process even more so. To make the achievement of peace more difficult, there is no doubt that the Russian Federation will respond in an appropriate manner to this provocation. And this includes in the context of formulating our position concerning any potential peace formula.